welcome to our afternoon, I guess a morning live stream, and I'm not centered. There we go. Things to check out before you start your live stream. Well, today we're going to make up a robot buddy. And what is a robot buddy? A robot buddy is a very simple paper craft, which is kind of like a paper doll. We have a simple robot buddy body that we do all of our basic electronics on, and then we add things to it to make it look like different things, from a little droid or a generic police box that's blue with an LED on top, not to get copyright infringement going against us, but can also make just a fun little person as well. Here's a little Josh. But you can do all sorts of fun stuff with a Robot Buddy Out project, the basic body, and adding things to there. We have a bunch of different projects and templates for this on our website, both the basic body as well as things to stick on there, such as the stuff you saw just a moment ago, and a whole bunch more, a bunch of holiday-themed things. So it's really easy just to add a couple LEDs to it, or add a vibrating motor like we saw in that video, so you can make it vibrate around the table. And we've done some silly things with it. We actually have, would you show the Pac-Man clip as well? We have actually a whole Pac-Man line of things based off this as well. Yeah, with some fun Pac-Man music. These are all based off that Robot Buddy body. To accommodate the Pac-Man-y things. But yeah, it's the exact same project with a slightly different template. So we're going to make one today, because why not? We're going to make up a fun robot buddy in a few minutes using the stuff available to us. So let's go to that wonderful overhead shot.
Overhead.
Yay, overhead! And we have our robot buddy body, a blank one right here. Oh, there we go. Now we're in the center. To this guy. Now, the template for that is a pretty easy cutout and fold. And here's that cutout and fold. We recommend using a heavier cardstock for this. Not like a 100-pound cardstock, but this was done, I think, at like 65-pound cardstock. Just something a little thicker than normal printer paper like this. And really it's like, cut this puppy out, fold along the dotted lines, and you've got yourself this guy here. To save time, if you're a classroom teacher or somebody in a library, if you're doing a lot of kids, cutting this thing out can be kind of a pain in the butt if you're doing things, especially with the younger kids. So we have on our website as well, browndoggadgets.com, bling, which isn't showing up because you didn't put it up. We have directions on how to use a Cameo silhouette. You could also use a Cura cut, or what other ones are there out there?
Cricut or Cry Cut.
A little like, yeah. And actually, roll that video, Pete. We have video on video. Yay! So this is just one video we took 10 minutes ago using our Cameo Silhouette 4. Thanks, Cameo, who we paid full price for. Please sponsor us. But no, it's really easy to cut things out very quickly with a machine like this on cardstock and make a whole bunch of these up really quickly. And it does kind of save that time. You can also score them as well, which is really nice. So all the folds are laid out for you ahead of time. But if you're doing a large group of kids, it makes it a little bit easier to do that. The only downside is you can't have the wonderful circuit diagram printed on your piece of paper. So this is one I just folded up quickly. I'll throw that away. And I'm going to get rid of this. And we're going to break out one that's already been cut up by the Cameo Silhouette. So all cut up and all folded. And we also have on here, too, a couple of small spots for our pull tabs, because to turn these guys on and off, we use a little pull tab system like this. It's a very easy way to keep all your batteries and other electronics internal while you can still control it from the outside. It just makes things a little easier for a lot of projects. And the pull tab works well with our really awesome nylon conductive maker tape, because it's very durable and can handle all that fun jazz. I wonder, are we in focus here? There we go. Now we're in focus. We're slightly out of focus there. That works well. So we can just put this guy to the side, and we can start making this guy up. And there's a lot of different ways you can make up your robot buddy. We just went a very generic wiring setup for this. And we like to use LEDs and motors. You could use one or the other. And in this one we're going to make up today, we're just going to use some big 10mm LEDs for this. We're going to grab a couple of these guys out and make everything nice and pretty. I think we should go with some nice, easy-to-see blue LEDs. Now, if I was following the directions we had on our website with our templates, we could break out these sets of directions, which tell you how everything hooks together. I'll keep this to the side for reference, but it really is just laying down tape, poking holes for your LED, and adding a battery. So first and foremost, I like to make sure that we fold all of our robot buddy parts before we start adding tape. Just makes life a little easier if you just fold. And these have been scored by the Cameo Silhouette, so they're really easy to fold. We recommend a straight edge, nice ruler or a table edge to fold your lines down. We run as minimal as possible for the fold lines and the tabs on this. It makes it really easy. There's no need for glue to glue it all together. Just a single piece of clear tape will actually hold this entire project together. So we're going to make this guy up. And down here is our first pull tab right here. And our LEDs would go up here on the project. Actually, up here if we want to make this the front. Pull tab should be on the back. So this would be the front for our LEDs. So these guys are going to go on the front side. And we're going to put our battery all the way down here. And you can, again, switch things up if you want. It's paper crafts. So first and foremost, we're going to decide where we want our LEDs to be. And I probably should have got an X-Acto knife so I could poke through this nicer paper. But there we go. The only downside is LED legs get a little bit annoying when trying to go through cardstock. A safety pin works really well for this, I found. If you're doing a bunch of projects with kids, it makes no need for a knife or something else sharp and pokey, but just a safety pin. So once these guys are through, they're relatively centered on here for me. We're going to stick these through and make sure our positive and negative legs, there we go, are the same on both of these. So if you might remember from other projects you've done, the LEDs have long legs and short legs. Long legs are always positive, short legs are always negative. We want to make sure, since we're doing a simple parallel circuit, that we connect everything up together in the same way. So we're going to poke, see here, the long legs through the bottom and the short leg through the top. And the same thing here, long leg through the bottom, short leg on top. Through the holes I made. And my robot buddy is going to have some pretty crazy robot buddy eyes because they're slightly off kilter. I guess I could change those, couldn't I? Once they're through, you flip the robot buddy over and you just lay the legs down and try to keep them nice and neat. This will help keep your LED in place, not fall through. And I like to, for mine, just fold my legs over so we're not going to twist them together or anything like that. We're just going to fold them over a little bit so that they're kind of touching, and it makes it easier to add tape later and not get things all kind of weirdly higgledy-piggledy, which is a great word. Because we're just going to lay tape on top of these when the time comes. And so there's that. Literally, there's that. That's all you have to do that. And again, my top was positive and my bottom was negative. And if for some reason I screw up how my battery's put on, I can always just flip my battery over later, which is a great way of fixing a problem, as long as they're both the same polarity for both these legs. So next I'm going to take some maker tape. This is our nylon conductive tape, which is pretty awesome. It's very strong and durable. Also works very well for paper projects like this. I'm just going to lay out some tape here and get a general estimate of how far I need to go on this guy to connect everything up. So we get about this far. I always have to cut a little bit extra just so that I can trim. It's although it is conductive on top and bottom and easy just to overlap two pieces, it's a little easier to trim than it is to add on this. There you go. That's what I get for cutting my fingernails before a project. And following our wonderful directions here, because I'm making a little reference, just make sure I do everything exactly as our directions are. We're going to be following this long diagram here, running the negative up and over and the positive up this way. And again, we're using the slit here for our pull tab. And again, positive or negative doesn't really matter as long as everything matches up with your legs correctly. So we're going to come up from the bottom here. Make sure I'm in frame. And I'm going to do a little right angle turn here because this maker tape can handle a right angle turn. I'm going to come up and up and up and up. Now I've actually forgotten which was positive, which was negative. Was it the bottom or the top legs, Pete?
You said top when you were holding it upside down, I believe.
Okay, so that is positive then, right?
We'll find out.
I'm going to find out. And we'll just go around these guys then. If the bottom is negative, it'd be these guys right here. And I'm going to right angle turn again.
It handles turns really well.
It does! Like a decked out Honda Civic. I was told my analogy games are really good these days. Good with analogies. And just cut. And then I have just gone over the top here with these legs. Ta-da. They're nice and secure. It's sticky on the bottom, and so it connects with the legs, and it's conductive on the bottom, so again, it connects with the legs. And if I'm worried about these guys making contact with this, I can always just bend things over a bit. They're paper crafts. They're not too exact. So we've got that done. So that literally is half of the work when it comes to the tape. Ta-da! And again, the maker tape being nice and strong, it'll fold, it'll bend, it'll flex better than the copper foil tape ever will. I would not recommend copper foil tape for this project.
We never recommend it.
No, copper foil tape is horrible. Ditch the copper foil tape. But the maker tape just works really well for bending and folding and twisting. Copper tape might work for this. It's just the pull tab would definitely not work with a copper foil. It would just destroy itself with a copper foil. So then we have done all of this. And we're going to add a battery next. So I'm going to break out one of my CR2032 batteries I have. And we're going to put it down here using what I like to call the loop method, which is where I take a bit of conductive tape. I loop it on the bottom. And I'm going to stick it on the bottom of my battery. And again, as I mentioned, since our maker tape is conductive on top and bottom, we get a strong electrical connection here on the bottom of this battery. And I'm going to stick this puppy down like this. So now I've got a solid negative polarity connection right there, which means I can then just run my positive tape just up over the top. And being strong and easy to use, if I have to come back and replace the battery on this sometime in the future, not a big deal. I just peel this tape off, put some new tape on the bottom, put it back on, put another piece of tape on instead. It makes it really easy, especially the way we close it all up with just a single piece of clear tape at the end.
You're not doing that with that copper tape, right?
No, copper tape would just break. Copper tape is great for breaking. I used to use copper tape for lots of stuff. Just this makes life so much easier. If you have copper foil tape, use it up. Now, this is the one difficult thing of this project, is getting the tape through this pull tab. And we're going through this tab here, and since this was a Cameo Silhouette did this, it did a very nice exact line, but didn't really leave a whole lot of extra space on here for this. So I'm just going to use my fingernail to basically open up this little slot right here a little bit more. So I need enough space here so I can stick 2 pieces of tape through, and then stick my pull tab, which I've already made right here, which is a piece of cardstock folded over with some tape on it. That can go through that hole. I'll grab a different one here, make sure everything fits. Yay, it fits fine. Again, this is on our template as well. And we're going to run the tape through here down to here. We're going to do that and then go from here on up. So I'm just going to cut myself a little bit longer piece of tape. Now there's a couple ways of doing this. I prefer just opening up my tape on the end of it and just sliding it through that pull tab slot. I think other people in the office have tried many different ways of doing this. A nice little bit of tape here, peeled back. I go through that slot. As long as you go just a little bit through and to the other side, ta-da, here we go. Then down over the top of the battery. Ta-da! And on the back side, just got a little bit of overhang of the tape here. Same way I've done with my other projects. It doesn't take much. Now I'm going to cut another piece of tape. So I've got to go from up here down to the slot again. So let's cut a little bit of extra tape. We're all done with you. And should really have pre-fingernailed these guys up ahead of time. This is like the one complaint we've had with our maker tape, is that if you don't have any fingernails, it can be a pain in the rear for some people to get off. It's one of those things that just learn to get the corner a little bit. That's the one complaint we have with our tape. I think I'm happy with that.
If I have a full roll, I just start peeling off and then leave it, so I can always grab it easily. Cut pieces are different, but
yeah, and that's a nice part too about this. If you're doing a big classroom setup, you can just pre-cut a bunch of these for the kids in the exact right lengths you need. And then you're not wasting any tape. I'm just going to come up here And chomp on my tape. Now again, if I didn't have much overlap here on my tape, I could always put a little bit more off to the side. Since it's conductive on top and bottom, we can just go like this off from the side and cover a little bit more just to make sure my connection is good. And notice my LEDs are not on because I don't have a pull tab in there to turn it on and off. So let's find out, do you turn on or not? Nope, I had my battery in backwards.
Or your LEDs in backwards.
One or the other. I should probably figure that one ahead of time. Well, the nice part is I can just flip this little guy over.
Gosh, what would happen if you had just one LED backwards?
Well, one would turn on, one wouldn't, which is a sad, sad thing. We can just go like this. Same thing. Ta-da. There we go. Now they're on.
There we go.
Again, if it's ever backwards, just flip the battery. Don't redo your project. I've watched a few teachers and children really, really get upset that their LED wasn't turned on because things were slightly backwards, and just get really upset the amount of work they had to do to redo everything. I'm like, just flip your battery.
Now, why doesn't the light-emitting diode work the other way around?
Oh, Pete, you with the great questions. Well, diodes are like a valve. They only let power flow one way, which is pretty awesome for a circuit. Light-emitting diodes are a diode with a special chemical on them that emit light, which they're very efficient, very awesome. They run cold. We're using them in our studio. Everyone uses them from your computer screen to your camera to everything. They're awesome for visible light. Bad for heat. So I want to use that to heat up your terrarium. But yeah, only let power through one way, which is why you might get one turning on, one not, because it only goes one direction. But yeah, flipping the battery over, we are A-okay. Ooh, 5 people are watching. That is awesome. Well, anyway, so Robot Buddy, this is done, like as the project goes, for just lighting this up. Now, if I wanted to go further, we do have the option of adding in a motor in here, which is what we did in that video we showed before with the both the Pac-Man-y things and the robots from another galaxy. Droids. I think that's trademark too for Droid is trademark of
I'm sorry.
somebody or other, whoever does the phones. But we use these little self-sticking vibrating motors. They're really nice. They've got a self-sticking pull thing here on the back. There we go, like googly eyes. Peel this off, stick it down, and we can use this area right here with this other pull tab, which you probably can't see on camera. Our Cameo Silhouette cut that. But just putting everything right there. Stick the battery on the side, the motor, and it just vibrates around the table. It's nice. These are great for paper crafts. I mean, don't use a standard barrel motor like we use on our BristleBots. That little barrel motor is going to end up hitting things with that rotating external offset weight. On these guys, everything is internal. And you also find these on like cell phones as well because there's no outside moving parts to cause any issues. But they vibrate really, really nicely on either 1.5 volts or in this case 3 volts from like our CR2032s. But we have to use these for a lot of projects. I'm not going to do that today because you don't want to see me probably put more tape on here than necessary. But once you're done, one way or other with everything, you can just fold this guy up. I like to fold up it this way. Battery on the top of the platform. Little piece here on the sides, and then the other flat side here. Whoops. And I'm going to use a single piece of clear tape to hold this all together. It also makes it really easy to take it back apart again to replace a battery or change something if necessary. One little piece of tape, just peel that off, especially using cardstock. But then just one little piece of tape right here, and it holds together pretty well, even though my eyes are a little goofy looking, which is fine.
Super cute.
It's super cute, little happy face on this guy. And that's just like this guy here. And if you want, you can glue up the sides. We did add these nice little tabs here for extra glue or whatnot, but that's a lot of effort to go through. We used to, our first couple of iterations, we used to glue up a ton of stuff with this. But really using one piece of clear tape, which I'll do right now, holds everything together really, really well, but also lets you take it apart again in the future if necessary, and doesn't cause any weird issues. Ta-da! Held together really well. You can't see in the sides. There's no lights on internally, so it doesn't light up. Actually, that's a good thing. If you want to make a fun little Robot Buddy lantern, this would be a nice little thing to either turn upside down or right side up, add some decorations, put a couple LEDs on the inside. You can use a pull tab to turn it on and off. Oh, there's another project, Pete. Robot Buddy Lantern.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
LEDs on there. And then you're good to go. If I want to, I could stick my pull tabs on the back side. Set up. If you want to use the other side with the motor, you can put both in. Our generic police box from the future has 2 pull tabs on it, one for motor and then one for the LED on top. Also, we like to do fun things with blinking LEDs. Also work really well on stuff like this. We have a bigger version of a Robot Buddy that comes with one of our kits, and it's also a template on our website. This is our big robot. He's 2 cubes together. Bottom cube has a vibrating motor. Top cube has a blinking LED on him. This is something a little bit bigger project than just the Robot Buddy. A lot more folding involved. That's why we came up with this guy, to be a little bit more simple and straightforward for kids in classrooms. But we actually have templates for this guy, along with all the parts you might need in our Origami Circuits Kit. He's actually on there. So there's a full template for this guy in there. Otherwise, print off the Robot Buddies. I think we have like 6 or 7 different templates on our website of different fun things you can cut out and add to your Robot Buddy, from the Pac-Mans to the police boxes to holiday things to various droids. But that's, the gist of the Robot Buddies, how it comes together. If you're looking to make this project, you can find our Origami Circuits Kits on our website, browndoggadgets.com, as well as on Amazon. Gotta remember to be in the middle of my circle here. It's still new for us. So that's easy to come out. And this Origami Circuits Kit does come with LEDs, blinking LEDs, and self-sticking vibrating motors, as well as a template for this guy right here. But yeah, the maker tape makes it really easy if you can get the stuff pre-cut. If you want to just cut this like for your kids ahead of time, also pretty easy to do. Or take this basic design and do something completely different with it. It's just a nice little rectangular 3-dimensional box we put together with some slits on there, just so it'd be easy to do the pull tabs on the back side. But we can just keep adding things galore to the front of there, or other LEDs or other things on the outside. But 3-dimensional circuits are pretty fun to play with, especially for kids or making larger projects. Shoot, make a pumpkin with it. Halloween. But anything to add, Pete, on this wonderful Robot Buddy project?
I'm glad we have a little Robot Buddy who can hang out with us.
And it's cheap, too. I mean, that's a nice thing, too. It's 2 LEDs and a battery, and a little bit of conductive tape, a foot or 2 of tape, and some cardstock. There's not a whole lot of parts needed to make this. Even throwing in the motor, you have one little vibrating motor. And if you really, really hate your project, take the parts off, throw it away, and you at least get your LEDs and batteries and your motor back, although it won't be as self-sticking. But yeah, it's a nice, inexpensive activity for an afternoon project or classroom project. But it's something we put up there for free. Again, all the templates we have here, by the way, for Robot Buddies, for this guy here, they're all free on our website. You don't have to buy anything from us ever. That's always a nice thing we try to do. Whether you have materials already or need materials, you're good to go. Those are on our website, browndoggadgets.com. And yeah, check out our future live streams as well. We're doing some stuff with Make Magazine on Wednesday, with squishycircuits.com on Thursday, and then just a general hangout we're trying to do on Fridays, showing off some cool things you put together in the week and fun things that we're up to. But yeah, any questions, let us know. Email us. But otherwise, yay, these are the Robot Buddies. They're fun, and they're silly, and they're pretty easy. All right, well, thanks for watching, and good luck out there building fun projects.
All right. Goodbye, everyone.